Queen Elizabeth I was a man. Now this is one of history's wilder conspiracy theories, but there could be an element of truth to it. When Elizabeth was 9 years old, she was sent to a town called Bisley in England to avoid the plague and to be educated. Some years later, her father Henry VIII was in the area hunting, and he hadn't seen his daughter for a long time, so he decided to drop in and see her. The problem was, she died in the meantime. For most monarchs who have hundreds of children, this wouldn't be a problem. They would mourn and then move on. But Henry wasn't a very forgiving man, and Elizabeth's guardians knew that they would likely lose their heads, so they came up with a cunning plan. They looked for a young girl who looked just like Elizabeth, but they couldn't find one. But they did manage to find a very pretty young boy with red hair. They disguised the boy, swore him to secrecy, and then passed him off as Elizabeth. Now this might seem like a really wild accusation, but if we look back through history, there are many accounts and suggestions that Elizabeth might have been a man. For example, she wore very high collars. Was this to hide her Adam's apple? She never married. Now that would have been an interesting wedding night for the man who married her. And also, there was a comment made that she had the mind of a man. Ladies, that's not my quote, that's a historical fact. To add even more intrigue to this story, in the mid-1800s an unmarked grave was found at Overton House, which is where Elizabeth was raised. Inside was the body of a young girl of around 9 years old. And here's the interesting part. She was wearing a kind of clothing that only royalty wore. What do you think? Was Elizabeth a man? Or is this just a big conspiracy theory?